what's up you guys? I'm currently at Universal Studios Hollywood today because as you can tell by the title, we're gonna do a walkthrough of some of the Halloween Horror Nights houses you can expect here this year. And spooky season is upon us, so it's very soon. It's like less than a month. It's crazy. Let's go. Alright, first things first, Universal is boasting over 10 Horror Nights mazes this year. This is more than they've ever done before here in Hollywood. However, I think it's more like 9 because one of them is Walking Dead, which is here normally. So they just add a few more actors in. But 9 is still more than they've ever done, but let's be real. They have 9 new mazes. Now, as soon as you enter the park, your first house is going to be immediately to the right in the Waterworld queue. As you can tell, the construction walls are already up, and this has been announced to be recording artist and director Rob Zombie's House of 1,000 Corpses. So this is where Halloween was last year. Expect this one to be the gory house, the bloody gory house. Obviously, there are 1,000 corpses in this house. Also, I would like to just make note on which houses are exclusive to Hollywood here. House of 1,000 Corpses is not one of them. You'll also be able to go into this in Orlando as well. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, on your left you then have the Walking Dead house, but like I said, I don't really count it. But it will be open for Horror Nights. There'll be more walkers in there, and maybe it'll be spookier. I don't know, I usually skip it every night. And then right across the way in the Fountain Plaza area, we have the Holidays in Hell house, which you can also see some of the artwork already popping out. The front facade is going to be Baby New Year in Father Time. So you start in New Year's and you kind of work your way through the holidays chronologically. But of course, all of them are a little demented. Now here's where things get different this year. Next up is there actually going to be 2 new houses in the studio tours area, which has never been done before, and the reason why there are more houses than normal. Which also means, yes, there is no terror tram this year, and honestly, I'm fine with it. I'd rather have 2 extra houses in the studio tour area than go on a terror tram, because I always felt the terror tram was always like more of a scare zone and kind of like half done, where 2 new houses will bring entirely new scenic design and more effort. So I'm all for this. At the exit of the tram tour is the Us house, which was announced. Now, John Marty said there were 2 houses in this area, and I don't know if they're connected or they're really close, because one is right here. It seems like the Us house from the movie By the Lake, and then the other one seems disconnected. So I don't know if it's all one or there's 2, but there's definitely 2 in this area. When you're actually in line for the tram tour, this looks like the front facade maybe, or side of the house that was on the lake for Us. So either Us house is in the front and there's a second house behind. Not sure. Now, unfortunately, I just got off the tram tour to see a little of the Metro set houses, and all we got is a little bit of creep show. Normally, the tram doesn't go all the way into the Metro lot sets when they're building Horror Nights houses, so we didn't get to check out the Wolfman versus Frankenstein construction or Ghostbusters, but those are the 3 that are down there. Once you go into the Metro set lot, right on your left will be Frankenstein versus Wolfman, the right will be creep show, and all the way towards the back will be Ghostbusters. But if you are curious what the facades will look like, I know Creepshow, it was announced that the facade would be a giant comic book similar to in the movie. They have that comic style, so you'll walk into a comic book. Ghostbusters will be the firehouse where they set up their services, and Frankenstein vs. Wolfman, I don't know yet. Maybe Frankenstein's castle, similar to what they had at Universal Monsters up here. I can see them reusing that. Also, just to recap what is exclusive for Hollywood, Us will also be in Orlando. To be determined will not be in Orlando. I can already tell you that Creepshow is a Hollywood exclusive, so that will not be in Orlando. Frankenstein versus Wolfman is kind of hit or miss because Orlando is having a Universal Monsters house similar to the one we had last year, and here we are focusing on just Frankenstein versus Wolfman. And then Ghostbusters will be on both coasts as well, so you can hit that here in Hollywood and Orlando. Moving on down to the lower lot, there are going to be 2 houses here in the lower lot, Killer Clowns from Outer Space and Stranger Things. First up is Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which will be situated right by Mummy, and on your way out to the Metro lots. This is where Trick or Treat was last year. As you can tell, there's a little exposed stuff in the back. you can see, and then in the front you can even see the tent facade, that red and yellow circus-like tent for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This house will also be in Orlando after the very popular Scare Zone from last year. So that is why it is a house this year. I hope there's lots of cotton candy smells, because I am all for that. Also, let me know what you see in there, because I want to know. And just like last year, straight to the left of Transformers will be Stranger Things Season 2. Can we talk about this vertical construction on Nintendo Land though? Wow. Anyway, Stranger Things Season 2. Now, 90% of the house will be based on Season 2, but the last room, I'm told, will be based on Season 3. So for everyone who was mad about not seeing any Season 3, you'll get at least a room. Yay! Currently crouching on the floor to avoid the sun, but just like last year, Stranger Things is extremely popular, and I'm very curious how they're going to work out this line since the Nintendo Land construction is already underway, like taking up a lot of the room. So the line should be interesting, but highly recommend you hit Stranger Things first. It's very popular. Then, as I've already mentioned, to the right will be your walkway to the Metro lot, and then straight to your right here will be Killer Clowns. So this way you'll hit Killer Clowns, Ghostbusters, Frankenstein vs. Wolfman, and Creepshow, all down there in the back lot. I found a little bench here, which is nice. But that is it for your preview of Halloween Horror Nights 2019 here at Universal Studios Hollywood. There's a lot of houses this year. Let's recap. We have House of a Thousand Corpses, Holidays in Hell, Us, To Be Determined, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Stranger Things, Frankenstein vs. the Wolfman, Creepshow, and Ghostbusters. Hell, I'll throw Walking Dead in there too. 10 houses. Now, I want to pass the question off to you. What do you guys think the To Be Determined house is? Now, I have my theory that it could be Zombieland Double Tap, because over in Orlando they have a Zombieland Scare Zone, and I feel like Universal wouldn't go through the trouble of getting the license for Zombieland unless they were going to put a house here in Hollywood. But that's just my theory. I mean, the movie's coming out in October, so why not? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate y'all very much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And I want to give a shout out to my Patreon supporter, Devin, for supporting me this month. If you want to learn more about my Patreon, check the description below. And then stay tuned all through September, because I'm going to be at the opening weekend for Orlando Horror Nights and Hollywood Horror Nights. So there'll be a lot of Horror Nights content coming. Get ready. See you guys.